Thanks for joining us today on our State of the Industry webcast. Everyone, appreciate you taking time to out of your busy day to work on the business rather than in the business with us today. My name's Eric Simpson, and I've been in the industry for about 30 years now, working with IT providers and MSPs, cloud service providers, security service providers, helping them grow and improve their business. My background is in enterprise IT. I co-founded one of the first pure play MSPs in the industry back in 2005. We transitioned that organization from a break, fix, and professional services organization to one of the first pure play MSPs, and that was subsequently acquired in 2007. Since then, I've been focusing my energy and efforts in coaching, consulting, and helping IT organizations and providers grow their practices profitably and efficiently with a strong focus on internal operations, service delivery, and project management. So today's webcast is all about proper onboarding for new clients. And as we all know, if we don't get the onboarding process right at the very beginning of a client engagement, that can erode client confidence. It can cause us not to be as profitable, as efficient during service delivery, and it can affect lifetime client value. If we're not onboarding clients properly and meeting their expectations for service delivery, the services that we've sold them, then it's going to be very difficult for us to grow those client relationships and continue to increase the value of the additional services that we can sell to them over time. So this slide is all about having an awareness of when onboarding begins. And for an IT organization, onboarding really begins during the sales process. This is when the sales professional sits down, qualifies a prospect for our products and services, and begins to set the expectation of what onboarding entails and when we can begin the onboarding process, the benefits of onboarding, how the entire process works. So during that first or second sales meeting, when we're qualifying prospects for our services, we want to make sure that we're collecting that high level information, right, to kind of understand what the current state of the organization's infrastructure is, what their workflows look like, who their target audience is, how do they engage with their clients, how do they conduct sales operations, what is the company's vision for growth. Now, these are all critical items that are strategically important in order for us to prove our value during the sales process. But we're also going to document some high-level information while we're qualifying that prospect. Now, this is the responsibility of the sales professional prior to identifying whether there's a good fit in order for us to invest the time, energy, and effort to go in and do a network assessment and collect the additional data that we're going to need in order to develop a proposal to address that client's IT needs. So once we've determined that there is a good fit, there's a need, the client has some pain and some challenges that we can help resolve, there's budget, then we typically dispatch a technical resource to go on site and gather information. Now, we may deploy some tools to crawl the network and provide us data back and collect that data in order to understand the infrastructure, all the devices, the services that are running, and things like that, just so we have a good idea of, from a hardware and network infrastructure perspective, what we're dealing with. We're also going to document information about the users, the departments, and things like that as well, just to give us enough information, again, to put together a proposal that we can use during the sales process to encourage the client to select us to provide their support. Once we've got that information, we're going to identify what the current state of the environment and infrastructure is, against the desired state. So we're going to conduct a gap analysis, and this is where we're going to develop our technology roadmap for that client. So if there are some deficiencies in the existing infrastructure when we go in, we're going to identify those, and we're going to document those, and we're going to put those together into our onboarding plan so that we can bring the environment up to our minimum standard of service. The environment must be at a minimum state of operational efficiency in order for us to be profitable when delivering service to that organization or to qualify for our services in general. So best practices indicate that we should phase our onboarding process. So I'm going to talk about 3 different phases of the onboarding process. The first phase being provisioning, where we're going to deploy all of our tools and our agents and set up the client's company inside of our systems and our platforms and get them ready for service delivery. The next phase is training, where we're going to train our internal teams on the client's infrastructure, their SLA, and we're also going to train the client and their end users on how to request support and how we prioritize incidents and our response time and things like that. If we're also leveraging external outsourced resources to help provide some aspects of support, perhaps outsourced NOC or other resources, we're also going to train them on the client's environment, the SLA, things like that, VIPs, etc. And once provisioning and training are completed, then we get to choose a go-live date where we are held accountable to our SLA. Now, we're going to be delivering service to the client on a best effort basis during onboarding, but we can really only be held accountable to our SLA once they've been completely provisioned and everyone's been completely trained so that we have the best chance to succeed at providing them the best support. Now, it's important to have an onboarding process and an onboarding checklist. And as a thank you for attending today's webcast, you'll all receive a copy of my 117-step new client onboarding checklist, which breaks down each step in each phase of the onboarding process to help guide you through this process. And this is something that a lot of partners take and build into their platforms and systems to automate this. And we're going to be talking about how to automate the onboarding process with ITBoost in a few minutes here. But the important thing to remember is if you don't have a process and a way to measure that process, then it's going to be very difficult for you to provide consistent results through every onboarding engagement that you have with new clients. And the benefits of onboarding, as we discussed earlier, are vast and help you deliver timely service against your SLA profitably. So when we're provisioning, we're going to set up our client inside of all of our platforms in our system, in our billing systems, our PSA, our RMM. We're going to make sure that we're documenting their infrastructure, and that's all going into our systems. And sometimes that can be a very tedious and manually labor-intensive process, right? So it's great to have the ability to automate some of that data collection with tools like ITBoost. The other thing that we're going to make sure that we do during the provisioning process is that we're able to monitor all of the critical devices and systems and platforms for a client, and we're going to make sure that we're receiving that information and it's and alerting and escalation is occurring properly and creating tickets inside of our PSA solution so that we can respond quickly and rapidly to any incidents that require escalation. But it also gives us the ability to analyze that data on a weekly basis to identify potential issues and take action before they become situations that cause business interruption. Servers and critical workstations have their own set of services and processes that also have to be monitored and measured. So we want to make sure that we're receiving all of that information correctly, and that is going into our systems and platforms, and that we're establishing thresholds for these alerts so that they're not very, very noisy. And I know that's tough when you're first deploying agents, but if you've done a good job of tweaking and tuning your alert thresholds and what you're monitoring with your RMM agents, then you should be in pretty good shape. So after provisioning, we're going to set training dates for our internal staff, as I mentioned, as well as our client. And if you've got a large client that you're trying to onboard, then sometimes you've got to phase that training. Sometimes you'll phase it by business unit. Sometimes you'll phase it by location. So it just depends on how long that's going to take. And you've got to consider that in your project plan when you sit down and kick off the project with your client, to set the appropriate expectations of how long it should take to get everyone trained. And again, these are things that they need to know in order to get the best service and support from your organization, right? What is a priority 1 incident? What is a priority 2 incident? What's priority 3? What are the response times for those incidents? How do I request support, right? The basics there. And of course, our internal teams, again, learning about the client's infrastructure, their SLAs, response times, how they're being set up in our PSA solution and remote monitoring and alerting systems, and the VIPs, the locations, points of contact, etc. So we talked about this, our internal or outsourced NOC and service desks, if we're using outsourced resources, need to be trained as well to learn the client's infrastructure and their specific support requirements. Finally, the end users are trained. And once the end users are trained is when we can establish that service go live date. So this is when all of our resources are available and we are being measured against the SLA that we've sold to that client. The first 30 days, this is the honeymoon period. This is the most critical point in the onboarding engagement, where the client and end user perception is really built, where we're able to either confirm the client's good decision to move forward with us as their service provider, or we begin to erode that confidence in the relationship. So it's really, really critical that we are aware of that. And sometimes it might not be a bad idea to give even a higher level of response during that honeymoon period. And you got to be careful there not to set an expectation that the SLAs are actually better than what the client has invested in, especially if you're selling your services in tiers, right? The first tier, the second tier, the third tier, where each successively higher priced tier comes with a better SLA. So be cognizant of that. But I'm just saying, have an awareness during that first 30 days to really be on top of response time and meet your SLAs for sure. And then you're going to schedule a couple of client meetings here. So, for the first 90 days, I'd suggest that you have a client meeting every month, just to make sure that we're giving them that high touch, that boutique attention, and letting them know that they're important to us. And we want to hear about things early on so that we can adjust and correct those moving forward. Now, the second 90 days after that, you might want to meet with them every other month. And thereafter, we start doing our quarterly business reviews. So you get into a cadence with this client to provide them the best service and support every quarter moving forward. Now, proper onboarding really is essential for service success. It allows you to begin delivering services efficiently, more quickly, and allows you the time to really collect the data and provision your clients' environments properly so that you can deliver services efficiently and meet and set the right expectations with your clients during the onboarding process and when we cut over and go live. It allows you to identify potential issues before they become problems. You may have missed something during your discovery early on that you identify as you're provisioning and identifying more devices and things like that. So you're able to have those discussions with the client. If you need to adjust your agreement, there's also the opportunity to do that during onboarding here. And it reveals other opportunities for selling additional solutions. Remember, this might take a couple of weeks to several months, depending upon how large the client is. And that gives you more opportunity to engage with the users and find out what their true challenges are. And again, this just builds the additional talking points that will fuel your conversations as you come back and meet with your clients on a monthly basis. And certainly will go into your technology road mapping with them that you're able to bring up during your QBR. So you're talking strategically about additional products, services, or solutions, or workflow changes and things like that that can help the client achieve their business goals and their vision through the relationship with you. And again, the final point here is it validates their decision to partner with you. So now I'd like to introduce, if I may, Ali Paracha. He was the CEO, co-founder of ITBoost. Welcome, Ali. Thanks for joining us today and spending some time sharing ITBoost story with our attendees today and how ITBoost can help them get the most out of not only onboarding new clients, but beyond that, ongoing service delivery and how clients are benefiting from relationship with ITBoost.
Hey Eric, thank you so much for having me here today, and I appreciate all of you again taking your time out of your busy schedule to be here on this call. My name is Ali Paracha. I'm the CEO and founder of ITBoost. I'm gonna take over, Eric, on the screen now.
Go right ahead.
So my story, I mean, it's very similar to you guys. I've been in the MSP industry for the past decade in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Unlike you guys, I go through the daily challenges of running an MSP. Most of my challenges were around documentation. How do I document my customers' passwords? How do I interact with customers in terms of how do I get their feedbacks on daily basis on every ticket that I have, with customer feedback, including NPS and CES scoring, and how do I get an overall vision of where my company is going with business intelligence. So these were my biggest challenges in the past 10 years that I've been running my MSP. So going forward, right? So looking at different solutions out there, we had OneNote, we moved to our own homegrown wiki, BizDocs, SI Portal, all those solutions that were out in the market, they were either too complex, they were not a perfect solution for us as an MSP, and having multiple platforms like documentation and feedback and BI and password management, all those solutions cost a lot. And there were just different vendors, there were different panes of glasses, right? The integration between all these solutions into one screen was not possible. So back in 2016, I started working on our own product. I got a team together. We worked on our must-have features that I wanted in my MSP, and we got to work. We released the beta version in November of 2016, just in 6 months, with a very lean and mean team, and we piloted the platform with about 30 MSPs in 2016. And in 2017, we launched our product. And what did we launch, right? So we launched ITBoost, which is the one IT documentation system that brings it all together. It brings IT documentation, password management, customer feedback, and business intelligence, along with dashboards for backup systems, all in just one screen. It is the most integrated documentation platform for ConnectWise manage, automate, and control. We're also their master integrators as well. We also support Autotask AEM, Datto RMM, which was Autotask AEM before. We've integrated with SolarWinds and Central, and many others, including voice over IP systems. So ITBoost is a place to document a customer's environment, all their assets, their passwords, and more that you can easily be accessed from any device to deliver services. We also extend this functionality far beyond any PSA's built-in capabilities. So when we talk about running through different platforms, for example, if you have your PSA, if you have your RMM, you have your documentation and password and customer feedback, they were all separate platforms for us. So, getting out with ITBoost, all that information is now in one screen for you guys to easily access. So today, we're going to talk about version 3, which we debuted in November of 2018 at IT Nation. Some of the highlights of the version 3 is now you can export data in CSV and HTML format. You can do data import, especially if you're coming in from another product. You can just come in and import their zip file, and ITBoost will take care of importing everything from there. We also introduced rule-based granular permissions. You can create your own rules, and they're unlimited rules that you can create on the permissions that we're offering you now. One of the most requested features was the doc mode, which helps all of us to work at night, and it's easy on the eyes. We introduced unlimited revision control and revision history, so you can go back and compare data, and all these features I'm going to go in detail once we go into this the slide deck, and a lot of UI enhancements and performance optimizations. So again, in version 3, we've got data export, UI enhancements, we've got revision history, data import, roles and permissions, and performance optimizations. Another thing that we introduced with version 3 is free 30-day trials. So now you don't have a reason not to try it out, right? You don't have to give any credit card information. You just go to our website and sign up for a free 30-day trial. So one of the features of version 3 is the dock mode, which is accessible throughout the platform. Right now we're showing one screen. This is your main dashboard. And again, you can go to your profile settings and toggle between the dock mode and the light mode. We'll also be introducing color palettes, which is going to help everyone with selecting their own colors based on what their company branding is. Then we've got rule-based permissions. If you look at the center of the screen, we're creating multiple rules. Right now on the screen you see 4 rules. You can have multiple rules created for whatever you want, right? So for example, if you only want company passwords to be accessible by an engineer level 2 that I have, you can create that, and you can go down the list and add as many rules as you want. On the bottom, we've got associated users and groups. So we can create user groups, and you can assign these permissions to those groups very, very easily. Then we've got unlimited revision history. So this is awesome because we can now not only restore back to a previous point since that record has been created, but we also offer the opportunity for you to view the fields side by side. And anytime you go on the top of the timeline, anytime you change anything that have changed in that particular revision, you'll see those highlighted. So it's very easy to understand what has changed throughout the lifetime of this particular asset or record. Then we've got the CSV data export. A lot of our customers and partners wanted data exported out. So right now we are giving you the option to either export all your organization data or export specific clients. So if you want 1 or 2 clients' data in CSV format, you can provision that through ITBoost. This is all in CSV file. So you'll get all your assets exported out, all your passwords exported out, all your knowledge base, images, attachments, all that data will be exported out in CSV. And then coming soon is going to be a PDF export as well. So you can create PDF reports, especially when you're doing client offboarding. You can hand those PDF files to them. And then data import. You can come in and import all your data. Just drag and drop your zip file, and from that zip file we parse out everything: your companies, your passwords, your configurations, your trackers, domains, your linked items, any attachments you have, any knowledge base articles you have, and now you have the power to either skip those particular documents if you want to go and start from scratch, or if you have any documentation done in ITBoost and you want to either update that record or duplicate that record, you have those options to do so here. And any one of you that does not have, for example, an export file from another vendor, we can share the templates with you guys, and once you fill those out, you can import that data in that way as well. So right now we've got the global dashboard. This is the high-level holistic view of what's going on in your company. You've got your favorite companies. You've with our ConnectWise and PSA integrations, we're looking at open tickets by boards or open issues by owners. We're also getting the ticket numbers, the actual the issue types, and all your boards coming in with the PSA integration. So you can click on these widgets and they'll open up the detail. And you can also go into let's say ConnectWise or RTask PSA directly from ITBoost. Again, the whole point of ITBoost was bringing these platforms all together into one screen. We've got your asset warranty and domain SSL expiry, so you can be on top of what's expiring, what's not expiring, what's about to expire as well. With our RMM integration, you'll be able to see your online servers, offline servers. Again, very critical part of the platform. And then on the bottom, you can go and add your all companies widget as well. So this dashboard is customizable, so you can move widgets around as well. Then we've got contact dashboard. This is a very important screen for any of you guys using voice over IP providers like RingCentral, Jive, 8x8, bVoIP, or any other voice over IP that allows you to do a webhook or a screen pop. This is a very critical piece of information. So once you have that voice over IP integrated, whenever a tech answers a call, whenever he picks up a phone, he will get the system will automatically open this page up, so you'll know who's calling you, where they're calling from, any quick notes that you have for this particular contact or this particular company. You can have the option to have those pop up, so you'll know how to interact with this customer. A very important part is on the bottom where it says assets. So we any assets that you've linked to this particular contact, like their workstation, their phones, their desk phones, their printer, their mobile phone, whatever you guys are documenting, you'll see those on the screen. So now you don't have to ask the customers, hey, what's the MAC address of this device, or what's the IP address, or what's the model number of that device. All that information can be fetched here. And also any tickets opened by this company, right? So now you don't have to go to a PSA and drill down and search and filter while the customer's on the call. We give you this screen to have that big view of what's going on here, and then you can go and click on either tickets, which will take you into the PSA, or you can click on these assets, which is going to take you into those particular assets. So customer dashboard. So once you are in a company, once you're in your customer's dashboard, in this example, we have Frolic Fox. That's our test company. We bring in information from the PSA, from the RMM. We're showing you asset warranty details and domain expiry details on this page just for this one company that we're looking at. The ticket statistics, we can go as far as 6 months back and look at how active has this customer been, how many tickets have they opened up, how many tickets have you guys closed. And on the bottom of this ticket statistics widget, you see the categories of the ticket statuses, right? So we've got new, assigned. So this gives you that view of, okay, how many tickets have you escalated? How many are in progress? And this can be accessed by any tech in your business to give them easy access to that information rather than fumbling across different platforms. With our customer feedback built in, we can do CSAT scoring, we can do NPS and CS scoring as well. Again, the whole point of ITBoost and bring everything together in that one single pane of glass is to show this information at your fingertip, right? So you can see how the customer is doing and how many feedback that the customer has given. On the bottom, you'll see ticket details and favorite documents and favorite assets, again, to give you the access to information right at your fingertips. And on the left side is where all the critical things happen, right? So we've got our sidebar that you can customize. We've got all the core assets coming in from the PSA, the configurations coming in from the PSA and RMM. You can add your passwords, which are secure, encrypted by 256-bit encryption that are also encrypted at rest. Your domain trackers, your knowledge base articles for this one company, and any custom assets, right? What do I mean by custom assets? These are assets that you create in ITBoost. Again, like Eric was saying on that onboarding process, if you have the information right in front of you and the assets that you want to document, that creates high level of standardization, not just for one customer, but for every customer that you onboard. So you can categorize them by network assets or ConnectWise assets. So we give you multiple options to controlling the sidebar. So now this is the configuration view. So we're looking at the data that has been synced over from the PSA and the RMM, and we show that information in one page, one view. If you notice on the right side, we've got a sidebar as well. What that enables is to be able to go and link multiple assets, unlimited number of assets together. So in this case, we've got an EpiCore server. We've integrated with LabTech. We've integrated with ConnectWise, which are now automate and manage, and also Screen Connect, which is now ConnectWise Control. You'll also be able to remote control into machines and with anyone who's on Screen Connect or Control now, just from this one screen. So now you don't have to go into another platform to be able to do so. So on this screen on the right side, we've got quick notes, we've got linked items, any revisions that you have for this particular asset, and if you scroll down, there's an option to attach, do attachments, right? You can attach PDF documents, you have any system files that you want to do. For example, if you want to do a backup of a switch, you'll be able to go in and upload that file onto ITBoost. This is a domain dashboard with anytime you want to go and track your domains, you can do so here. We integrate with MX Toolbox. All that information is being fetched live. So you not just, with you'll not just have information about, let's say a DNS or who is, but we give you A records, pointer records, MX records. In the MX records, there's an option to click on the blacklist check, so you don't have to go into another browser and search for that. You can just click on it, and ITBoost will take you into MX Toolbox and show you the blacklist history of this particular DNS or domain or IP address. Again, on the right side, you'll see those linked item options. So that sidebar is accessible throughout the platform, throughout this this company. So you can link anything to anything for easy accessibility. So this is our main thing. So there are two very important parts of documentation or ITBoost, or standardizing documentation for your customers, which is the first thing is custom template. This is a raw form. By default, we give you 26 templates to import. You can import the templates that we have and then customize them any way you want to. You can add columns, you can remove columns, you can add fields as you like. Again, this is the power that we've given you to go and create your own standardization. So when you're documenting customers, in this example, I've got ISP. Every time you want to document ISP for any customer, old or new, this is the template that you'll go through. So now we make sure that every time you go back, that's the same data across all your companies. This is our feedback dashboard. So we give you not just the option of looking at feedback for that one customer that we were in the customer dashboard, but you can also look at the feedbacks that you received throughout your customer base. So your CSAT scores on the top of the widget, with how many positive, neutral, negative feedbacks you received, your NPS score, your customer effort score, and your feedback ratings, along with your top 5 happy customers, right? And most importantly, your customers at risk. This is a very important widget where you guys really need to monitor that as well, just to really understand how your customers are feeling about that. And the last widget is your most appreciated resources, right? So you want to be able to know which technician or any resource that you have in your business is performing well. We've also integrated with backup dashboards. So right now we do integration with CrashPlan Pro E, but on the roadmap we've got many other backup providers like Datto, Veeam, and all those other backup providers to be integrated with. So once they're integrated, the dashboard's going to look like this. So you'll have your summaries, your backup statuses, your space utilization, and the detailed activity of that particular backup. Again, whole point of ITBoost is not to go in and swap it between different screens. We're trying to make it very, very easy for the techs and the people in the business to actually work on supporting your customers in the most effective and fast manner. Yeah, so Todd Bailey with the Walker Group, he's been our customer since the very beginning, since our beta days, and they've been extremely supportive. They're a mid-sized MSP. Todd, if you don't mind, can you do you want to just introduce yourself, help our attendees understand why you chose ITBoost and your journey before ITBoost, through the process of onboarding and post onboarding with ITBoost.
Sure. You can hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ali, and thank you for asking me to be a part of this. So so my name is Todd Bailey. I'm from the Walker Group. We're based out of Connecticut. We've been in business for over 32, maybe 33 years or so. We're about 40 employees. Good 3/4 of that are technical staff in some role or another. So we've been working with Ali and his team at ITBoost since right around the beta days. We've really enjoyed the collaboration of working with Ali and his team because he's allowed us to provide feedback into the development of the ITBoost platform, and we've really enjoyed that tremendously in helping to shape the product. And as far as what we had before, the system we had for documentation was really good at putting the documentation in. It wasn't great at pulling reports and things of that nature. And just a little background, we do use ConnectWise as our PSA. We also use the LabTech Automate as our RMM. And so that's what we've been using with ITBoost for roughly the last 2 years. And as we've looked at various systems prior to ITBoost, it is always a challenge. I'm sure many of you can relate that often it's hard to find a product that does a lot of things well. Often you are going out there trying to find maybe a password management tool that functions for your organization, and that's something that we did and struggled with that because we might find a solution that tended to do well with the password auditing, for example, or the logging, but then wasn't so great on the other side of it, of actually utilization. And so what we found is really working with ITBoost is that they're able to really take our feedback and take feedback from other MSPs that they have as customers and really develop this product and platform for all of us to use. As you start to look at a system like ITBoost, there are some questions that, I think we all look for, which is perhaps you want to make it easy to document as one of the first things that you're looking for in a documentation system. It's got to be easy to put the data in. And you want to make that data work for you. So sometimes what we found is, in particular with ConnectWise, is it's great at storing the information, but it's not great at presenting it back or reading it or making it easy to read, especially when you're dealing with a support call. And ideally, you want to try to get through those support calls in the help desk as quickly as possible. So having a solution that can present data like you saw in the slides that Ali was presenting, you want that data at your fingertips. So that's really some of the big things that I think we like about it. We like that we're able to customize and change the view of how we document things. So for us, in our case, we try to get really granular with breaking out maybe a custom set of templates for routers, which is different from switches and other gear that you might find in your client environment. Sometimes it's easy to try to use the same sort of template to accommodate multiple types of assets. For us, we like breaking it out because it's much quicker for us to access and find what we're looking for. I think Ali touched on the ability to be able to link things. So you can link a configuration or an asset to a location. If your customer has multiple sites, you might want to be able to link a firewall to a particular site, for example. And when you do that linking, it's a two-way link. So even if I'm the technician that's taking the call and I happen to go through the system and go to the location first, I can quickly get to the asset or configuration that I'm looking for. Another example of that is like a firewall. If I take a call and I know that I need to log into the firewall, I can either go to the password and then it'll link me to the firewall, or I can go to the firewall and it'll link me back to the password. So navigating around the system is really quick, and again, that's really helped to drive down the time that we spend on resolving the calls that come in. We really like the client dashboard. Again, just more information at your fingertips. You are able to kind of take some of the information that's on those dashboards. You can move them around, change the information that it's displaying. The built-in functionality, like I said, for the password and logging and auditing, we've particularly had some input there. We take our client data seriously, as we all should, and if there's a situation where we need to audit who had access to certain passwords, we have that ability with ITBoost. And another thing is the integration with LabTech or your RMM. One of the things that our help desk has really enjoyed is that if they take a call, they can go to a configuration that maybe got pulled in from the RMM and directly connect to that asset through Screen Connect, which is now Automate Control. But they don't have to leave the ITBoost application to then go to Automate, to then go to Screen Connect and remote into these devices. So I think ITBoost has done a really good job at trying to keep you within the application without having to sift through other applications to get to the end goal. So I think that's mostly what I wanted to touch on today. Like I said, for us, it's we want it to be easy, and we want to get that information out quickly so we can ultimately help our customers. So with that, I'll hand it back to you, Alex.
Hey, Todd, it's Eric. I have a question for you. I was really impressed with the customer satisfaction features of ITBoost and how it's easy for you to identify at-risk clients, happy clients, and also recognize your team for doing a good job. How are you using that at the Walker Group, and how has that maybe adjusted the way that you interact with your clients?
Sure. So that's just another example where, again, normally you might go to another solution out there that offers like the client satisfaction surveys, right? But again, with ITBoost, with that feature set built in, it's been a cost savings to us because now we don't have to go and pay for that other third-party service, and it's integrated all in this client dashboard. So, with that, we're able to leverage some automation through, if a particular survey comes through in a certain way, we can notify different service managers, or we can create a ticket and be able to have it put onto our customer support board within ConnectWise, and then be able to respond to those clients in a fast manner, because if you have a customer that's upset, the last thing you want to do is wait several days or not respond at all. So again, having that information right there at a global level to see how you're doing as an MSP, but also being able to drill into the clients and see what that score is, and drill in further and see who from the customer actually responded and what their feedback was.
Excellent. Thanks, Todd. All right. Really appreciate your insight and feedback into how you're using ITBoost in the real world, right? And one follow-on question. So, the promise of ITBoost is putting everything under that single pane of glass, making things more efficient. What percentage of time do you feel that your technicians have transferred to spending within ITBoost as opposed to all the disparate systems that they used to have to work in? I hope that question makes sense. I'm trying to get a feel for, what percentage of time are they now investing in ITBoost to get their work done, where before it may have been a little bit more kludgy jumping from platform to platform in the past?
Sure. I don't know that I'm not prepared to give you an actual, statistic or percentage or any of that.
What's your gut
I would say?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
What's your gut say?
I would say that it probably increased their ability to respond and resolve the problems probably close to 30% faster than our previous system.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd have to do some digging but I think it's pretty close.
Wow. So that's 30% improvement in efficiency, which really, really impacts the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, we had a challenging transition from our old system going to ConnectWise. But again, it brought us much further into just being able to resolve our clients' issues faster. And like I said, I would guesstimate that it's probably close to about 30% improvement.
Amazing. All right. Thanks very much, Todd. Appreciate it. And thanks again for sharing your real life experiences with ITBoost with our attendees today.
You're welcome.
All right, Ali. I think you've got some interesting comparisons here for us.
Yeah, thanks again, Todd, for helping us out with that. So when we talk about ITBoost, our priority is how do we give you the highest ROI with the lowest total cost of ownership, right? So comparing different products together out in the market, our competitors, basically IT Glue, Brightgate, Portal, and then multiple customer feedback platforms. When we're talking about those, the total cost of ownership with multiple platforms is about $912 per month. This is about for 10 user licenses, and then one-time fee of or about $834 when you talk about activation fees and onboarding fees. With ITBoost, that same the whole slew of applications all built into one platform is going to be $370 a month with $0 one-time cost. So you have over 59% savings, right? So the less users you have, the higher savings you get as well. Going on to the next screen, this is going to be very important for you guys. So we have 3 plans, the basic, plus, and premium. The basic gives you all the things that we talked about, all the core documentation. The plus enhances and enables you to do customer feedback and backup monitoring. And then with the premium, you get the BI, you get more KPIs, you get the white glove service and dedicated account manager, also your company branding and your live support. So our SLAs are different between all these 3 plans. So for this particular session, up until December 7th, we've given you a coupon, ITBoost 18, which will give you 50% off of any of these 3 plans for the first 3 months. So which means that your prices is going to be $8.50, $13.50, and $18.50 per user per month. It's again, we want you to be successful. We want it very easy for you guys to come on board, get a trial for 30 days, and if you want to avail this coupon, please do so by December 7th, which will take off 50% for the first 3 months. Again, no activation fees, so basically there's no reason for you not to try it out at least.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed on the comparison slide, while there's also higher costs overall, you're also having to deal with multiple platforms. I think that's another important point that I identified, right? So it's all the single pane of glass, this ability to increase efficiencies. The increase, that 30% efficiency increase, really impacts the bottom line. And I bet a lot of that is from staying in one platform that gives you all the data, the information that you need in order to provide the typical day-to-day support for clients. So, I just wanted to mention that in addition to being the lowest total cost of ownership and lowest investment amount, you're also gaining all of that efficiency and keeping everything in that single pane of glass and being able to customize each view just the way you want it, which is really helpful as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, in just a quick summary, right? ITBoost integrates with all major platforms, your PSA and RMM platforms, and other products like TrashPlan, MX2Box, Lucid Charts. The main aim is to aggregate data, displaying critical data, which simplifies solution and service management, and which drastically increases efficiencies and in return delivers the best customer experience. Again, it's all about customer experience, right? How fast can we resolve an issue for a customer, so now we don't have to go to multiple platforms and look for the data that we need to resolve an issue. The issue can be resolved in a matter of minutes or a matter of days, depending on what it is, but getting to the data is very critical. And with my MSP, that was the main thing that helped helped us create ITBoost as that one platform that you need to bring it all together.
Right. So I've been kind of answering questions, Q&A on the side here. We've got a few more minutes, Ali. Can we take some Q&A real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
So, Ali, I've got a question here that is asking about integration with Active Directory for user credentialing. So can you take us through how ITBoost interacts with Active Directory?
Right. And actually, Todd, they use LDAP to access ITBoost with their Active Directory integration. You would just go into our integrations page, connect your AD with the LDAP access that you have, and then all the users will be able to log in to ITBoost using their email address and their Active Directory password.
Excellent. Let's see. So folks are very excited. They're very impressed and asking for timelines for future integrations. So everybody's asking about integrations for particular products that you mentioned, including Datto and things like that. Can you give us any insight as to, roadmap and things like that, Ali?
Yeah, definitely. So 2019 is going to be our year of massive integrations. We're going to be adding a lot of other RMMs that are on the market, and also any other integration that helps you guys be more efficient, like backup providers, AV providers, like WebRoot. They're all on our roadmap. Avik, LineGuard, they're part of our roadmap as well. So 2019 is going to be the year where we're going to be focusing a lot of effort into those integrations. Again, we can definitely share a whole list of our roadmap items for 2019, starting Q2 to Q4.
Right. And I would encourage, there's a lot of questions about signing up now and delaying implementation until some of these integrations are in force. I would encourage everyone to sign up for the trial and then schedule a one-on-one demo. I know that Ali puts a lot of energy and effort into making sure that everyone gets an opportunity to really work with a specialist on a one-on-one demo and get all their questions answered and make the decision to move forward, understanding how we can help integrate this and help you achieve the types of efficiencies that Todd shared.
Yeah, definitely. So one other thing that we're going to be focusing on is providing that one-on-one onboarding for anyone who signs up. With a coupon here, we'll offer a free 30-minute onboarding, which I'll be doing personally. Given, I've talked to hundreds of MSPs and I've gone through onboarding calls with all those MSPs. So getting that insight, getting that, experience of working with my own MSP and helping you guys be more efficient, not just with documentation, but overall optimization of your business processes, I think is going to be huge once you sign up with us. And I understand, like any software, right? I really hope that we can do all the integrations today, but we have a roadmap to follow, so we will get to all the requests that you guys have. One thing that we do excel at is listening to you guys. That is why I started working on ITBoost is because no one else in the market was willing to work with me, was willing to listen to me and my needs as an MSP. Now with ITBoost, I am able to work with you guys. We have an ideas portal that we're going to go through, that I'm and my partners are going to go through personally to make sure that that all the features that you guys are requesting and we bring those out to you as soon as possible.
Fantastic. And I have a couple of questions about folks using competing products. And what I would like to say to you folks, and you know who you are, take a trial. There's nothing that is binding here. Just take a trial, get on a demo, and then compare the features and benefits of ITBoost against the product you're currently using. And I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised. No more questions at this time. Thanks everyone for attending. We will be sending out an email with a link to the recording, a copy of the slide deck, as well as the checklist after today's webcast. Thanks again. Thank you, Ali, for hosting, and really appreciate the information that you provided to our attendees today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.